Alright, so what is your name?
My name is Emily Chavarria. I'm a student at Montclair State, and I am a film and television major.
And do you commute or do you dorm?
I am a commuter, unfortunately.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. What is one thing that you would say you're better, why commuters are better than dormers?
I think it's because, how do you say, it's like the isolation. I don't have to feel that when I live at home because I'm with my family, I'm with my parents, and I'm with my pets, which is really important for me because I suffer from anxiety. So the pets really help, especially, because dorms you can't have pets. And even you can, but you have to go through like this long process and they can still deny you. But at home, I'm like, hey, I got my babies right here, They're my little babies.
So why do you think dormers, what is the one thing you don't like about them, like negativity wise?
They're very they're very tight knit. So they're like, oh, we're gonna go out to this thing. You can come with us, but I know you have to go home. And it's kind of like backhanded too, because I've seen that, especially with my brother. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going out with my friends. We're gonna go out to eat this Mexican place, or we're gonna go out this. And I'm like, I can't do that because I don't have a car. So I would have to take the bus everywhere. Plus, I don't want to spend the ticket for the bus, and it's just a whole thing. It's very tight knit. That's really the reason. Yeah.
And you don't regret staying at home?
I don't. I've thought about it. I've seen people dorming. I see my little brother who dorms, and I think to myself, I don't regret this because I don't have to pay for laundry. I don't have to pay for food because that's already done. And I'm at home. I'm comfortable. I can just I don't have to worry about noise. I don't have to share a shower. I have my own shower. I have my own bathroom. So that's great. It's I feel so much better than those, dorming.
So you think you're better than dormers?
Yeah, I really do.
You think commuters are so much better than dormers?
Commuting is way better than dorming because honestly, I've really thought about the pros and cons, and I'm like, I don't care if I have to wait hours for a bus. I'd rather wait and go home and not have to pay for anything. I like it.
So commuting. The one main part that sucks is car park. I get almost smacked about 5 times by people that can't drive. There's not enough parking for the amount of students that commute. And then people can't drive. Let's be honest. The dorming, many of these dorms have air conditioning. You're swamped on top of people. You may have a crappy roommate that just sits there and stays up till 3 a.m. doing weird stuff. Let's be honest. It sucks.
Can we ask you your name really quickly?
Dan.
Dan?
You first and last, or?
No, that's all right.
All right.
Do you, in fact, commute or do you dorm?
I commute here.
So what is probably the best or the worst thing about commuting?
Best thing is I get to go home. I don't want to sit in a dorm with a random person. I get my own room. Worst part, parking. Just in general, no parking spots anywhere. You have to basically fight a person for a spot here.
So you're saying, if the parking was better, commuting would be better.
Oh yeah, 100%. If they actually made more parking spots, oh yeah, I love it. I love commuting here.
Do you think that the difference between commuting and dorming would be a lot different if the parking was better?
100%. A lot more people. Well, it's the dorming is you have the life experience of living by yourself. So that's what people might want to do it. But considering you have more parking here, it might be a lot more people be, oh, I'd rather commute if there's easier parking to get to.
How do you commute?
Drive here about 15 minutes, I want to say, roughly, every day.
With your own car?
Own unfuel efficient car.
The car that's in front of you, would you be able to explain that for us?
That's his car back there, but it's a... What year is it?
2020.
2020 Mustang. V8, fun noises.
So let me ask you one more question. If you had to commute with public transportation versus your own car, would that make it a difference?
Yes and no. The pains of New Jersey travel public travel kind of sucks, but I mean, there's a train station right here. That's right. The line goes right next to my house. There's a bus station right here that goes right next to my house. It really wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be inconvenient, I would say.
So in one question, which is better to you, commuting or dorming for students?
I'm biased. I'm gonna say commuting. I'm biased. I do it. I love it. As much as I hate it sometimes, I love going back to my own room, my bed.
And if you had one message for the dormers on campus, what would you say?
Why do you enjoy suffering? It sucks. Commute.
What is, can you state your name for me?
My name is Gavin Kissler.
And are you a dormer or a commuter?
I am a dormer.
What do you think makes you better than commuters, like dormer ones?
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're
I
good, you got time.
have anxiety. The words get stuck in my throat sometimes.
That's cool.
So, when living on campus, I find that having 24-hour access, 24/7 access to the campus is pretty superior because you are able to go to events more often. You're closer to your classes. You don't have to. You don't have to be living out of your parents' basement at home. You know, like you're here. You're living. You got your own place. You know, like it's a good first step into life. You know.
Have you ever commuted before?
I have, actually. I used to be a commuter before I was a dormer.
Could you tell us a bit of the differences between dorming and commuting?
Ugh, okay, so when you're commuting, it's like fucking. I used to have to pull out of bed at 6 in the morning every morning and get up to work around my sister's bathroom schedule. I had to get in there before her or else I was fucked. Had to get up, eat something for breakfast, typically a piece of toast or a microwaved bowl of ramen. And then my mom had to drop me and my brother off at school, so we had to pull up at my brother's high school, drop him off, deal with the traffic there, and then go to the college. I get dropped off. So like, when I was a commuter, I would have to wake up, the crack ass of dawn, go to school, be here like all day. In between classes, I had to sit around and do whatever I could possibly do. Homework, hopefully, jack shit usually. Is profanity okay? Okay, cool, awesome. And like, and I had less access to hanging out with my friends. I had less access to other extracurricular activities. So like, I was at home, like hanging out, doing nothing, while my friends were all out there hanging out with each other. It's severely, cripplingly lonely down when you're a commuter, I feel, because like, your friends are all living on campus and hanging out and having so much fun, and you're sitting at home on the couch doing nothing.
So if you could speak directly to a commuter from the position of a dormer,
Not
does
bad.
that factor into the dorming experience?
Does that? Okay, so if I am to get a bit off the track of being positive about dorming, there are some unfortunate things that come with it, more so. Like the construction noise in Blanton, they have to fix it because every time it gets really windy out here, there is this loud, ridiculously loud grinding, banging, like someone's up there like throwing metal around on the roof. You know, it's ridiculously loud. It wakes people up in the middle of the night. It's ridiculous. And sometimes you're gonna get people who live next to you who are not great. Like, I live in Denalo, and I have both of my neighbors are stereo system people, so constant loud music reverberating through the walls. And my upstairs neighbor is a professional upstairs neighbor, so there's banging, moving of furniture, scraping, anything you can imagine. It's going on up there, so it has its downsides.
What do you think is one thing that annoys you about commuters? Do you get annoyed by anything?
Annoys me about commuters.
Parking, the traffic, anything like that?
So every day on the dot, at around, I'm gonna say 5, the entirety of Clove Road is backed up to a halt. And that backs up to around the Heights over there, Denalo, Machuga, like that lower street in between Denalo and Car Park. And it is the most frustrating thing in the entire world to be a part of. Because I remember one time when my dad came to pick me up when I was a commuter, and we were stuck in the Blanton parking lot for an hour, just the parking lot alone, because it was so backed up. Parking services had to come and inject themselves into the situation and try to get the traffic untangled, because the entire lot was just, whole thing, cars. There was no empty space. So it's ridiculous that traffic like that is so backed up going just to go to Clove Road. Like, the Clove Road traffic has backed itself up all the way to here. That's insane.
So as a dormer, do you experience traffic a lot?
I don't have a car, so no. I really don't. I mean, foot traffic is different. I mean, there's always crowds of people going to class. I'm lucky that I'm not a part of the bigger crowds at a time. But typically, I don't experience any sort of issues with the traffic. I mean, when I'm crossing the street, I usually just have to wait until the cars have moved. And even then, like, I am not going outside to my classes during those terrible backed up rush hours. It's usually while I'm in my dorm or while I'm already at class.
So as a whole, is your life better because you are a dormer than if you were a commuter? And if so, please tell the audience some of that.
I like to think that, yeah, my life is better as a dormer because I don't have to deal with the traffic. I don't have to live in my parents' house at the time. And I always have access to campus events, my friends, I'm always hanging out with them. I think that my life is more eventful now than it was if I was a commuter.
So one more question. Why do you hate commuters? Why do you hate commuters?
Why do I hate commuters? Well, can I get exaggeratedly cartoon?
Yeah.
My life is better than commuters because you guys are at home, living in your parents' basement, and I am out here having the time of my life making friends. I have made more friends in the past year and a half that I've been living here on campus than I have in my entire life. And if you're commuting, you're just not getting that experience, like, at all. I weep for you, honestly, because it is just better to be living on campus because, like, it's just better. It's better. I don't have to justify myself.
My name is Connor Francis, and I'm a freshman at Montclair State.
So you are new to Montclair, so how was your first year as a commuter?
The traffic sucked. Getting up early sucked. So everything commuter-wise sucked. I feel like the dormers, they got it way easier, waking up early, or later actually, walking here, so yeah, commuting sucked.
What would you say was your biggest challenge by so far?
My biggest challenge, becoming friends with the dormers, probably my biggest challenge. You know, commuters, we just get along better because we're just, you know, I think we're just better people. People, so yeah.
Do you think that dormers have it easier socially and class-wise easily?
Yeah, 100%. It's a cakewalk for them. You know, we got to get up at, you know, David Goggins' routines over here. You know, 4 a.m., 5-mile runs. So yes, yeah.
What would you say is most annoying about getting here, driving, and parking?
Rush hour traffic, and then you know, waking up early. So yeah, all that.
Do you think dormers have it easier because they don't have to wake up early and they don't have to park in car park or lot 28 or even lot 60?
Was that a question or a statement? Because that, I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, that's just a proven fact at that point. So yeah, easier, so much easier.
Would you ever think of dorming here at Montclair?
Would I ever think of dorming here? No, because anyone I dorm with would probably, you know, not be my friend. So I would probably never think about it ever.
Do you think it's easier to stay involved on campus, or do you think dormers have it easier just being involved in more clubs and activities?
Well, dormers are always here, so they, you know, they get their little, you know, squad or whatever you want to call it, you know, friends. But you know, commuters, we go home and see, you know, our real friends, and we have our, you know, groups, our, you know, families. So I think we're chilling over there. They could stay with, you know, whatever they're doing.
Now, with class-wise, do you think that you are more able to be inside of the class, basically, and be more connected with people in your class? Or do you think dormers have it easier because they can go study on campus whenever they want, and basically they can just have a 5-minute walk to their dorm?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, they don't study, I know that. They're usually, you know, they're usually not doing homework, but if they did, yeah, but we're fine over here, you know, doing our own thing. If there's dormers in my class, you know, I won't be friends with them, but, you know, commuter-wise, yeah, I'll be friends with them.
So basically you're saying that commuters just overall have it so much worse.
Yeah, we're just, you know, we're just better, so.
You're a survivor. Basically.
Yeah, I'm basically, I can't believe I'm alive right now, you know, with all this traffic.
These dormers, they just got it so easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah.
So I missed out last class. What did we?
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Connor, for
okay.
everything.
Yeah,
Have
thank
a
you.
great day and keep surviving.
You're a commuter, right?
Oh, I'm a commuter.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I
be
totally,
friends.
okay.
Yeah, we'll be friends. All right.
Okay. Can you state your name for me?
My name is Lucy Russo.
And are you a commuter or a dormer?
No, I'm not a filthy commuter, I'm a dormer.
Can you tell me a little bit about dorming? What's it like?
So dorming is pretty dope. Besides the money, which is a lot, it just has easy access to your whole life on campus. You're much more of a college student, it feels sometimes.
Do you feel that you're a little better than the commuters?
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you rather wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the same class that the person who dorms here woke up at 9 o'clock for? Does it make you a better person to put in extra work for the same result? Or are you a fool for doing so?
Well, I see it as you get to come home a little early, you get to spend time with your family. But what is the difference with, you know, staying into the dorms versus, you know, coming home to that, like, nice home-cooked meal?
Do you go home to a home-cooked meal every day?
Yes, I do.
And is that going to be any different from the kind of home-cooked meals that you can make if you live on campus?
I don't know. You tell me.
Hey,
I'm a
listen.
dormer.
Hey, listen. Mother's best. It's nothing compared. Nothing compared to the kind of home-cooked meals you get at home. But that's the price you pay when you move forward in life. You ain't going to be living with your parents forever. You can go back and visit when you get the chance. But you got your own life to live. You got your own future. And that's what I'm doing when I live on campus. I'm living my future with my friends and family that I meet here.
Some choose not to believe that. Especially, we interviewed a couple of commuters who say dorming, like, absolutely sucks.
Some may choose.
What would you say to them?
Some may choose to be wrong, and they can freely do that. But hey, I'm living it.
But in what way are they wrong?
In summation, they're the ones that gotta go into traffic after their class. You think I wanna sit in stats for 2 hours and then sit in a car for another hour just to go home and do what? Homework, the same thing? Oh, my bad, guys, I'll be late to the function, I'm late to the hangout, I'm in traffic, I'm on I-95, like going south, and I'm stuck in traffic, sorry guys. Nah, I live on campus. I'll be there early. Or, you know, if it's class, I'll be there 15 minutes late, needlessly, but, you know.
Let me paint you a hypothetical.
a young freshman student coming in, just newly out of high school, they're starting to wonder whether they should commute or dorm. What would you tell them?
What do they want out of college? What's their goals?
Let's say they want a dorm.
Well, if they want a dorm, then they should dorm.
Trying to get more at him.
If they want a dorm,
Give the reasons.
I would tell them to prepare that it's going to be a very, very different lifestyle. It's going to be totally different. Like, commuting, I did a lot of that in high school. You do a lot of that. Not even just buses, cars. It's just the grind of going everywhere, doing so much. You spend half your life in a vehicle. I would rather spend that time in my own space, So what I would tell to them is this, right? In one sentence, I would say this. Don't overwork yourself. You're like an 18, 19, 20. You have plenty of time to do that and you're dead. I mean, not to be that person, but you go to Montclair State. You really want to put in the extra effort for Montclair State that you don't need to? Even if you went to MIT or some shit like that, come on, live on campus.
So when you said about how commuters have to drive home, they have to be late for functions, be late for that, are you basically insinuating that we do have it harder? You're insinuating that you get to go hang out easier because it's quicker, and we have to go home, we have it rougher. So you're basically insinuating that we are right. We do have it harder.
You're not right. You're half right. Harder does not equal better. Is Sisyphus any more noble for pushing the rock up the boulder than when the boulder falls down? Is that nobility? Is that being better to you? Putting in that effort? You answer yourself this question. Are you a better person because you work needlessly harder on the things that the other person can do for less effort? I mean, sometimes. But not always. Not always.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for asking those questions.
Of course.